Okay, now we are doing linear modulus graph. That means here I'm going to teach you how to draw in a modulus graph. Now, how to sketch the modulus graph is actually got two parts, part 1 and part 2. The first part is when you are requested to sketch the modulus graph, sketch the graph without the modulus. Let's take that instruction here. Okay, the instruction here is the first question here is asked you to draw y equals to x minus 3, and step 1 is we have to draw with this one but without the modulus. That means I'm going to sketch y equals to x minus 3 without the modulus. Now to sketch the y equals to x minus 3 without the modulus, now I need to get a 2 coordinate for the straight line, and the first coordinate is when x equals to 0. So I got y is equivalent to 0 minus 3, that equals to negative 3. That means when x 0, y equals to negative 3, so negative 3 is here, so I put the coordinate negative 3 here. Now the second step is I need to put y equals to 0 now. So if it is y equals to 0, then 0 is equals to x minus 3, so 3 is equivalent to x. So that means x equivalents to 3. 3 is here. Okay, then we draw the graph. So this is one part of the graph. Okay, the red color passes through here, and the other graph is just continue down. Okay, this is continue. That means the graph has two lines. I do one in the red color and one in the blue color to indicate that one is above the x-axis and one below the x-axis. So this is a straight line which represents y equals to x minus 3. Now let's look at the second instruction of the condition how to draw the graph. What is the second condition? It says, based on the graph without the modulus, remain the graph above the x-axis. That means they asked you on the second graph, when you draw the modulus graph, you must remain the graph above the x-axis. That means you look at the graph here. This is the graph we did just now. Remain the graph above x-axis. That means this part. Remain, the red color, remain. This is 3. Remain above the x-axis. Now, the second conditions in the thing is, what is it saying? Reflect the graph below the x-axis on x-axis. Reflects the graph below x-axis on x-axis. That means this is the graph which is below the x-axis. So now this part I'm going to reflect on the x-axis. So therefore this graph will be reflected here. So this value will be 3. So now I have actually sketched the modulus graph. Okay, now we are going on to the next example. This example. Okay, you are given the graph, which is you need to do two things. One is y is equals to modulus z 7 minus 2x, but there's a domain here. Now to do that, the first thing we need to do is without the modulus, y equals to 7 minus 2x. Then I'm going to make it x equals to 0. So I got y equals to 7 minus 2 times 0. So this equals to 7. So y equals 7 is here. Now we do x equals to 0. So when x equals to 0, we're already done. So we do y equals to 0. So y equals to 0, we got 0 equals to 7 minus 2x. So we got 2x equals to 7. So x equals to 7 over 2. So the coordinate is 7 over 2 here. So now I'm going to draw the straight line. So this is the graph. See, I'm drawing straight line. One in a red color, and below the x-axis I'm drawing in a blue. So this is a straight line. So now when we are going to the second level, that means I'm going to draw the modulus graph. What the modulus graph concept? Remain the graph above the x-axis. That means the red color must be remain. So this must be remain. So this value will be 7, and this value will be 7 over 2. So I remain the graph above the x-axis. Now the one is below the x-axis, the blue color. So we reflect on the x-axis. So that means reflex, it will go here. So I draw the graph on the case of in between the negative infinity to infinity, of the modulus graph. So this is a graph y equals to modulus 7 minus 2x. Now we do have another problem on this question is they have provided you the range in between -1 to 4. Since they provided you -1 to 4, so what you need to do here is now I'm going to draw the graph in between -1 to 4, and the both values are included. That means we're going to draw the graph -1 x to included 4. Now that means I'm going to take what is the value of y when x equals to -1. So y equals to -1, so 7 minus 2 times -1 modulus. So this gives me -2, -1 is 2, so plus 7 is 9, modulus 7 is 9. So y equals to 7 when x equals to -1, and when x equals to 4, so I'm going to put 4, so I got y equals to modulus 7 minus 2 times 4. Okay, I will get, see here carefully, y equals to 7 minus 2 times 4. It means I will be getting 8 here, -8. So 7 minus -8 is -1. So modulus of -1 is 1. Okay, you got modulus -1. That will give you 1. Now I will need to plot the graph accordingly. See, this is a 7/2. Okay, this is the graph. This is a 7. And when x equals to -1 is here. So when you take -1, you get 9. That means the graph stops at 9. So this value will be 9. And since -1 is included, therefore this must be put a black dot here. That means 9 also included. Then I go to 4. 4 is actually what? When you 4, x equals to 4, y equals to -1, and modulus -1 is 1. Therefore, it comes to 1. So it's something like this. So this coordinate is 4, and this coordinate will be 1. So now I've actually sketched the graph in between -1 to 4, and the graph will be look like this. So that means to draw this graph, I actually use 3 steps. Okay, the step 1 I draw without the modulus. The step 2 I draw the modulus graph, and the step 3, okay, modulus graph, and the step 3 I draw the graph without the graph modulus, but according to the required domain.